In a small city somewhere in Africa, there lived a beautiful family of four. Two loving parents and their two wonderful children, a girl and a boy. They were known in their neighborhood as a peaceful family. The father was hardworking and respected. The mother was gentle and caring. Their children were bright, well-behaved, and full of joy. One bright Sunday afternoon, after returning home from church, the parents decided it was the perfect day to take a family photograph. They wanted something special, something they could keep forever. So they called a photographer who lived not far from their home. Not long after, the photographer arrived. The family dressed up in matching traditional clothing, looking proud and elegant. The parents stood close together, and the children smiled brightly beside them. The photographer captured a truly beautiful family picture. It was the kind of photo that showed love, unity, and a future filled with promise. Months passed. One morning, the father was on his way to work when he noticed a young lady rushing down the road. She looked worried, like someone who was already late for school. The father slowed down, pulled over, and asked kindly, "Are you going to school? Do you need a ride?" The girl hesitated for a moment, then nodded quickly and got into the car. As they drove, the man's phone rang. It was someone from his business. He answered the call, and soon he was deep in conversation, talking about money, transactions, deals, and figures so large the girl could hardly believe what she was hearing. The girl sat quietly, listening. She was amazed. She had never heard anyone speak about such huge amounts of money so casually, as if it was normal, everyday talk. Before long, they arrived at her school. The man parked and the girl stepped out. "Thank you so much, sir," she said politely. He nodded, smiled, and drove off, leaving her standing there, but her mind was no longer on school. It was on that phone call, and on the kind of life that man must be living. From that day on, the girl became obsessed. At first, it was small. She started waiting near the road around the time she believed he passed. Sometimes she would see his car, and her heart would beat fast. She would wave politely, like she was just being friendly. And the man, he noticed. He told himself it was nothing, just a girl he once helped. But the truth was, he liked how she looked at him. He liked how she smiled when she saw him, how she acted like he was important. The father had a beautiful family, a loyal wife, two children who adored him, a home filled with peace. But little by little, he started enjoying attention from outside his home. One day, the girl approached him again. "Sir," she said softly, "I wanted to thank you again. That day you helped me, I was really stressed. You didn't have to stop." He smiled. "It's nothing." But she didn't leave quickly like before. She kept talking, asking questions, complimenting him, laughing at his jokes, acting impressed by the simplest things. The man felt young again. He should have ended it there. He should have driven away. But he didn't. Soon, it became a habit. Whenever she saw him, she found a reason to speak to him, a reason to stay close, a reason to make him feel like a hero. Then one day she said, "Sir, can you help me with something? I don't know who else to ask." The father hesitated, but he helped. That was the beginning of the mistake. Not long after, she started calling him. At first it was school-related. Then it became personal. "I feel like you understand me. You're different from other men. You're the only one who listens." The father knew what was happening. He knew, but he told himself he could control it, that it wasn't serious, that he was still a good man because he still went home every day. And the girl, she was patient. She didn't rush. She knew exactly what she was doing. One evening, the man had an argument with his wife. It was small, normal, the kind of disagreement that happens in any marriage. But that night, instead of calming down and talking it through, the man stepped out. He drove without thinking, and before he knew it, he was parked in front of the girl's place. She opened the door like she had been expecting him, and in that moment, the father forgot everything he had. He forgot his wife's face. He forgot his children's laughter. He forgot the family picture taken after church. He made the worst decision of his life. Days turned into weeks. The guilt started eating him alive, but he kept going back. The girl became bolder. She started calling more, demanding more, and the father, trapped by his own foolishness, continued. Until one day, she sent him a message, "Sir, I'm pregnant." The father's whole body went cold. He read it again, and again. His hands shook. His mind started racing. He tried to deny it. He tried to convince her to handle it quietly. He begged, but it was too late. The girl didn't want quiet. She wanted a place in his life. And when she realized he was not going to leave his family for her, her obsession turned into anger. One afternoon, while his wife was at home with the children. A knock came at the gate. The wife opened the door, and there she stood, a young girl with swollen eyes and a stomach beginning to show. The wife looked confused. "Yes? Can I help you?" The girl swallowed hard, then said the words that shattered everything. "I'm sorry, Ma, but I'm pregnant for your husband." The wife froze. For a second, she couldn't breathe. It felt like the ground moved under her feet. She laughed once, not because it was funny, but because her brain couldn't accept it. Then she called her husband. When he came home and saw the girl sitting there, he knew. His secret was no longer a secret. The children stood in the corner, watching. The little boy held his sister's hand. They didn't understand the words, but they understood the pain. The wife's voice broke as she asked, "Is it true?" The father couldn't even look at her. His silence answered. That night, the house that used to be full of peace became heavy. The wife cried until morning. The father sat alone, ashamed. And the family picture, the one they took in their beautiful traditional clothes, hung on the wall like a cruel reminder of what he had destroyed. From that day, nothing was the same. The wife no longer trusted his smile. The children no longer ran into his arms the same way. The respect he had built in the community started to disappear. And the father learned the hardest lesson. A single act of kindness is good. But when kindness becomes carelessness, and when boundaries are not respected, it can open the door to destruction. Because sometimes, the biggest mistakes don't begin with hatred. They begin with a simple ride.